deduction. So you can't get a good rebound when that happens. And she's so low onto the table, not only do her elbows bend, but her hands slide. So it's more of a jump as opposed to a rebound.
She's had to deal with several injuries the last few years. So now 2 events in the bank for her. When you consider this early portion of the season, what's the most difficult event to feel like you have command of when you're this early in a campaign?
Well, you know, I think, once again, for every athlete, it's pretty different. For something like vault, you don't have to have a lot of endurance. For me, that was probably the hardest event to be able to feel my best. But the uneven bars in floor exercise, those are the 2 events that you really have to have endurance. They take the longest to get, I would say, competition ready. So just you see the penalties, only 1/10 was taken.
And one other note, vaulting, all of the vaults were devalued on the women's side. Basically, every vault that you see is starting 0.4 of a point lower than it did in Tokyo.
A little bit of a blind landing, what we call. So she landed with her back to the table. It makes it a lot trickier to spot the ground, to stick the landing.
A little bit easier of a vault. Every time you add a half turn, it's 0.4 higher. Or we saw a double fold from Sky Blakely, 2 turns, and now we just saw 1.5. So this one will start 0.4 lower.
But great stretch body position on the table and off of the table. That very last quarter turn was almost just a little late, but got it all the way around.
All right, so Sienna Alipio, the native of Northern California, will get her score when we come back to the Winter Cup here at the Ford Center in Frisco with the deductions.
So you see that difficulty score of 4.6. In Tokyo, that vault was worth a 5.0.
Yeah, it really makes no sense why, you know, every single Olympic cycle, everything just continues to get more and more challenging and more difficult.
Yeah.
Now Connor McLean is coming up next on the vault. She was the bronze medalist on this event at this Winter Cup a year ago. Also a silver medalist on the vault going back to the U.S. Junior National Championships a few years ago.
She actually drew and designed these ozone leotards for her and her WOGA teammates herself, something she likes to do in her spare time.
I didn't think gymnasts had spare time.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe not so much spare time,
Right.
but on the weekends,
Yeah.
after training, to decompress.
I asked her, you know, what's different for you right now? And she said, well, I used to be a people pleaser. That was very important to me. And now I'm doing what I'm doing for myself.
And that's so critical to long-term success too, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So she'll do the same vault that we saw Sky Blakely do. It's called a Yurchenko, named after the great Soviet gymnast. She'll do it in a laid-out position and add 2 full twists on it. So has a maximum starting score of 15.0.
And beautiful form in the air, just blocked right off of the table, so high.
Yeah, that was great. Really powerful. Has always really been like that, but nice technique. Look at her arms. She just slams them back to that table. And you see right there, no bend, no absorption on the table, just a bounce.
And that's exactly why she was able to get so much higher in the air. So take a look from this angle. Look how stretched back, beautiful shoulder extension off of the table.
Wow, that was gorgeous.
Easily could have done
A 2.5, right? Yeah.
She was very pleased with it.
Thank you.
Good to get a solid one under your belt. Sense of relief. 14.1 for Connor McClain.
And look at that execution score, 9.1 out of a 10.0. And we're not going to see too many nines across the board. So that was great.
MJ Frazier now tied for first here as we proceed through this second rotation. The New Jersey native who made her World Championships debut last year in Japan. She's over on the floor.
Wow, that was jam-packed, huh, Nastia?
Yeah, that was good fight on one of those tumbling passes. But really great start so far for her 2 events down.
Yeah, she looks completely comfortable and was comfortable on this mount. A lot going on. First one we've seen here today, a double twisting, double somersault, 2 flips, 2 twists, 1 piece of air.
So even more going on in this tumbling pass. So a front full to a double back, and had to really pull hard to get that around. Just a little bit low on the landing.
That was someone who appeared to be in total command on the floor. MJ Frazier, her score on the way as we roll along here from the Winter Cup. MJ Frazier very much in the running for the title here at the Winter Cup, and through 2 rotations, looking good after her floor exercise where she scored a 13.5. She remains near the top of the standings.
And that 13.5 might not look that high, but it's the highest we've seen today on floor.
And Ashley Sullivan, a 16-year-old, just a moment ago with her vault.
Same double twisting. Yurchenko.
And that was great. A lot of power off of the table. Great control on the landing there. 8.9 execution. So once again, that's a great score for Ashley.
Yes.
She was second in the vault last year at this event in the junior division, but stepping up to the senior level for the first time here this year. 13.9 is the total score for her.
I'm very impressed with her gymnastics, and you know, she told me she gets nervous, but looks like she's dealing with it very well now.
And Zoe Miller coming up on bars. Our first look at the uneven bars here today, where last year she was 5th at this event. Also 8th in the all-around at the 2021 Winter Cup. Training just north of Houston, about 3.5 hours south of where we are today.
Where the great Simone Biles is from. And I asked her yesterday, I said, so what's it like in the gym now with no Simone Biles? And she said, well, it's pretty different. You know, we used to all look up to Simone. We knew she had it. And now we're the top dogs, and that brings more pressure.
Well, let me ask you this to both of you. Have we seen the last of Simone? I don't think she said or made a definitive statement either way to this point, has she?
She hasn't, and I think, you know, she's just kind of taking it one day at a time. She certainly hasn't ruled anything out yet, and she might not even know herself.
Yeah.
You know, just kind of living in the moment, rightfully so.
Yes, I would agree with that. I mean, I don't know this for sure, but she's got a lot of things going on in her life. Got to plan
like
a wedding,
planning a
right?
wedding, absolutely.
Yeah.
She said she wasn't going to be a bridezilla, so we'll see about that, Simone.
Well, still 2.5 years until the next Olympics in Paris 2024, but again recalibrated because of the postponement with the pandemic. They don't have the full run-up that they typically would, so a somewhat abbreviated schedule, but still in the early going when you consider the runway that they have towards 2024.
I'll tell you what, the scoring, this is just killing me. It's hurting my soul because it's such a wonderful sport, and this is not the way a sport should be played, evaluated, enjoyed. And it's, you know what, it's not their fault, though. It's not the judges on the floor. It's not their fault. It's that the rules are so complicated. They're ever-changing.
Well, if you were the emperor for a day over gymnastics, what would be the fix? What would you do?
Back to the 10.0 for me.
Absolutely. I would go back to the 10.0, and I would make sure that state-of-the-art, best in the world gymnast has the opportunity to reach that pinnacle. Why should the best gymnast in the world be deducted 2 points on an exercise? It's crazy.
I think people want to see that, right? They want to know that perfection, a perfect 10, is, while elusive, still attainable.
Yeah. And even if they didn't go back to a 10 overall, oh boy.
Really low on that handstand. You see her hit her feet on the ground. Once again, just really got back on track there, but big struggle at the beginning.
This is her best event. She's got to set up for the dismount here. Pirouette gets some speed on the Giants to get that double layout around to her feet.
All right, Zoe Miller on the bars, scores on the way. We step aside and back for more in a moment. Minnesota's Elle Miller is in 4th place after the first rotation, and now coming up on balance beam, where she was 8th at this event last year. Also won the beam a few years ago at the Junior Olympic National Championships.
Comes from a very accomplished gym. Starts with a very nice tuck front. Olympian Grace McCollum, silver medalist from Tokyo, a former club mate.
It's the same skill that she started her routine with, that mountain that you mentioned, but it's just a little bit off.
Notice she took a deep breath before she got back on the beam, kind of settled herself.
Want to get back on track here. Very difficult combination, and hangs on. Gorgeous side aerial to a back layout step out. Just looks like she's doubting herself to me, not as confident, you know, and every time you doubt yourself on beam, if it's coming after a movement, it's very easy to have a little shake, a little bobble.
And you hear the 2 dings, so overtime, so that'll be another deduction. And tough routine for her there.
So from Elle Miller on the beam to Zoe Miller's score on the bars from earlier, 13.1. And when we come back, a conversation with Olympic silver medalist Michaela Skinner. Visit flipnow.tv to watch live streaming of USA Gymnastics 2022 events and get exclusive access to decades of archived content. Halfway through it in Frisco, Texas, the 2022 Winter Cup. 2 rotations down, 2 left to go, and it's Connor McLean with the lead here at the Ford Center at the Star in Frisco. And once again, Steve, Nastia, and Tim, joined by the Olympic silver medalist, Michaela Skinner. We've got the full deep bench here, 4 across. And Michaela, a lot to get to. Of course, we'll jump back to the Olympics in a moment, but let's catch up on what's been going on with you most recently, including training for American Ninja Warrior.
Yeah, some big stuff going on. I can't believe it. You know, just following in Nastia's footsteps here. But
I'll give you some pointers.
Yeah, I need it. I need it. Haven't been working out, so it's been rough. But yeah, just a lot of fun things. I've come out with a leotard line, training for American Ninja Warrior. My husband and I will be doing the couples edition, and I just found out I think it will be airing April 13th.
Amazing.
So be going, and you know, it's going to happen really fast, so scared, but ready. And then finishing school at the University of Utah, so finishing my last year and, you know, kind of just retiring from the gymnastics life. So it's cool being able to sit back in the stands, doing some MC stuff here at the meet, and just getting all these experiences and getting my feet wet a little bit.
So speaking about being at a competition, let's kind of go back to the Olympics in Tokyo. And it was kind of a little bit of a whirlwind for you. You thought you were done with the competition, and then all of a sudden get a text or a call, and then you find yourself with an Olympic medal standing there on the podium. So talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, the main goal was just to make the Olympic team for me, and I didn't know whether I would be competing individually or not, or on the team, and then I got the individual spot, and I was really hoping to place for, you know, floor and vault and have the opportunity to maybe go in, and I didn't. So, you know, I thought I was going home, got to step in for Simone, crazy story, and all of a sudden, before you know it, I'm with a silver medal around my neck up on podium. And it was funny because Simone was like, "You weren't even crying." And I was like, "I'm just tired of crying and shedding tears." I was just so happy. And so definitely rewarding, and just was so grateful to be up there one last time.
Well, a very different experience than 2016 in Rio, where you were oh so close to making that team. A lot of people, I think, including yourself, thought you should have been on that team. Contrast the feelings you had there in Rio, sitting on the sidelines as an alternate, to what just happened to you in Tokyo.
Yeah, I mean, being an alternate is super hard, and you know, a lot of people that haven't been in that position or had that experience don't really know what it's like. And so I just remember sitting in the stands just having that burning desire, like, I want to be out there. Like, I was so close. So being able to finally make that Olympic team and knowing that all that hard work paid off was just incredible. I mean, the feelings, the emotions, there's nothing like being out there on that Olympic podium. And I'm sure you know all the emotions you get and the rush, and just knowing that, you know, I'm an Olympian, it's real, it happened. So,
And an Olympian forever.
Absolutely.
Yes.
What a journey. Awesome.
Thank you.
And Michaela, before we let you go, what's harder, the Olympic vault or the salmon ladder and the warped wall in American Ninja Warrior?
Okay, definitely the warp wall. I'm too
with
small.
you.
I'm too small. I can't run up it, but lots of work ahead.
All right, thanks for joining us
Awesome,
as
thank
we
you.
continue from the Winter Cup. 2 rotations left to go, and Connor McLean in first place here in Frisco, Texas.